Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Keely Denenberg. I'm Senior VP of Client Solutions at Orange Grove Consulting. Today, I am joined by Dr. Jodi Detjen, Managing Partner at Orange Grove Consulting. And we are talking about something we have seen recently that a lot of organizations, they're quietly either stalling succession planning efforts or not creating succession plans. And not because they lack potential successors, but it's really about a trust in the next generation or a lack of trust that that generation is ready. So, Jodi, what do you think is happening? What are your thoughts on this? Why is it happening? What do you think?
I think what we're witnessing is a real generational shift from a number of reasons. First off, if you think about how many of these Gen Zers were raised, many of them were raised without being given a lot of accountability and responsibility. And so they are expecting a lot more external feedback in order to know whether or not they're doing well. And this actually shows up as lack of confidence because they haven't gotten the rewards, the verbal rewards or the financial rewards that indicate they're doing well. So there's a little bit of, oh my God, am I good enough? From the Gen Zers. They haven't been taught to find some of that themselves. The other thing that's happened is the phone. So a lot of the Gen Zers have done they spent an enormous amount of time getting very quick feedback on the phone. So for example, TikToking or Instagramming, right, through the reels, you're going very quickly. So your attention span is shorter and you're expecting school or work to operate in that same format. And work is by definition a lot more interactive, a lot more social, and the feedback is not going to be coming as much. And so there's a real generational gap. The other problem is that this generation also expects to see a bigger picture. They expect to understand the why behind a request, behind an ask. And a lot of that has not really been built into the way our organizations operate. So I think what we're seeing is a real communication mismatch. And so what's happening from a succession planning perspective is that a lot of leaders are thinking that it's because Gen Zers don't have the capability, when in fact, they probably do have the potential and capability, but they're just not being understood as having it. And the way we are evaluating isn't aligned necessarily with where they want to be evaluated. So a lot of this is just a gap, a real problem in how one side communicates versus another.
Hmm.
Missed expectations.
And when you think about that, is there a way that it could be reframed for leaders so that it's not just, well, this generation that, and this generation doesn't do, or
Well,
I'm
we'll talk about it more in our second video, but in essence, what you have to do is what you have to do with everything. What is it that we're looking for? What are the competencies that are related to what we're looking for? And then what are the developmental steps to get to those competencies? The solution comes back to the same thing, setting very clear expectations as to what you're looking for, and then creating clear tracks to enable people to achieve those expectations. Expectation management is such a fundamental skill for leadership, and yet it's one we don't teach much. We don't get asked to teach much, I should say. And it's one that people haven't really fully thought through. This is all a motivational challenge, and we know how motivation works.
great. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Check back, as Jodi mentioned, to another video just following this one on what you can do about this if you're experiencing this. Take care.